Hey guys, welcome to the first shots review of the P226X Legion. I will be honest, I filmed these videos so far out, I actually fit in 2 range trips from the time this was originally supposed to be airing. So I had a video in line for you guys, and then I ended up going to the range again. Got a total of 600 rounds under this right now. So I wanted to revise that original video to give you guys a more accurate first impressions, first shots that I was going to from the original range session. I will say not much has changed. If anything, more positive came out of the second one, because the second range session for me was more about zeroing and seeing accuracy at an indoor range versus my first session. And I'll include some B-roll so you guys get an idea. It was an outdoor range. Did a real quick rough zero when I first shot the gun and kind of just went off from there, because I'll be honest, this gun is freaking fun to shoot. So a little thing to note about this before we get into it, I just want to let everyone know that, full disclosure, this was not sent to me by SIG Sauer. I'm still not that cool. I did buy this with my own money. I've wanted a 226 for a long time, and when this came out, or was announced to come out, I really thought, this would fit my current collection perfectly. Being a 4.5-inch barrel, it's a full size but not a full 5-inch, so it could be great from the hip. It could be good for carry still. I'm actually got a belt, just came in the mail today actually. Got a belt set up that I'm going to start running and training with, and then I'll do a future video on that. Whenever the holster gets here. Tier 1 kind of has a long wait time, so I don't expect that in the near future. Maybe 2-3 weeks from now, we'll see. But anyway, back to the gun at hand. As we need to say, it is clear, it is empty, it is safe. So YouTube, please don't get mad at me for being a pro to a person who wants to inform the public about awesome things like this. So yeah, let's talk about what makes this gun this gun. I'm not going to hide it. This gun is heavy compared to, a polymer gun. In the world of full-size guns, I would not say this is heavy, but if this were to be your first gun, which I would not suggest when we get into the trigger, but some people might pick this up and say, wow, that's a heavy gun. For me, shooting this, I think it's well balanced. I think it fits great in the hand. So I can't really say the weight's a negative, especially after doing 600 rounds in this. I will say this gun likes to shoot fast. And it's funny because I've watched so many reviews and I've heard people talk about, they say this gun likes to shoot fast. I'm like, well, what does that mean? And, not having something that can shoot that fast, and granted, I'm not a great shot by any means. I'm just an everyday civilian. The only stuff I know about guns is what I go out of my way to learn about and go to the range with. So take my opinion with a grain of salt of that. I don't consider myself a great shooter. I think I'm adequate for the amount of time I have on the range, but that's about that. But this trigger right here, this trigger inspires confidence. I will say, for someone who's just getting into firearms, this might be too light. And I would not suggest that because of how light this trigger is. It has a lot of great qualities as far as when you're wanting to get accurate at longer distances. It's nice to not have to worry about a heavy trigger pull to affect the pull on the gun any which way. But other than that, I would say it's a phenomenal trigger. Few things that I truly loved while shooting this is having the breakdown right here that is doubling as a gas pedal. That works out phenomenal. Obviously, that depends on the size of your hands, right? If you have smaller hands, that might not fit your grip. For me, that fits perfectly. Also, riding the safety, that is something I had to bring back from when I used to shoot my 1911 more often. But doing that, it gives you such a good purchase on the firearm that you can easily control the minimal recoil this thing has. And I mean, when I say minimal, I mean it returns to 0 very quick. I thought the CZ Shadow returned to 0 quickly. This, I'd argue, maybe even a little bit quicker. I'm definitely going to have to go to the range and shoot both of them back to back because there's so many similarities with so many differences that it's really worth comparing the two of them. I kind of wish I had the model that had the double single action so I can compare it more directly, but still it's similar enough. So in a future video, when I do my in-depth review after 1,000+ rounds, which I have a feeling that's going to come rather quick with how much I like shooting this gun, I'll get a close-up with the trigger, show you the reset, and all that fun stuff. I will say it's incredibly crisp. The reset's incredibly short. I mean, it's hands down the best trigger I've ever shot, and I would compare it to a 2011. I've not shot a ton of rounds through 2011s, but I shot the Staccato CS, the P, the XC, I think one other one too. But I would definitely say, in my opinion, this is a very good competitor to some of the 2011s out there. Obviously, there are some 2011s I would love to get my hands on, like the new Kimber 2K11 Pro. Kimber, if you see this, hey, reach out. I will totally review that gun. If I don't buy it whenever I see it anyway. But yeah, the trigger, I can't say enough good about the trigger, except again, if this is a new gun or you're a new gun owner and you don't have a ton of experience, this might be too light. I would not suggest this. I mean, personally, I think running a safety, also, I would not, if I'm recommending to a friend a gun, I'm probably not going to suggest one that has to be cocked and locked. Yes, you can get comfortable with it, but for me, in my opinion, I think a double action, single action is probably a safer beginning route, or a striker fire. Now, if there's anything wrong with cocked and locked, I would totally carry this, but I'm saying first time gun owner, I think wait for this one. So going back into my initial impressions based on the first shots, I gotta say this thing is stupid accurate. This is more accurate than I am of a shooter. I really need to get this out the distance and try some long shots because I have full faith that this will make long distance shots with ease, if I can do my part, obviously. But the grip, a little bit thicker than what I'm used to, not in a bad way. I've definitely held some guns where it was like obnoxiously thick, and I'm like, yeah, I would never want to shoot this gun. But this, although it's thicker, it definitely fits in the hand nicely. Talking to these grips, I mean, I'll be honest, both range sessions I did 300 rounds, and they went quick. I mean, by my standards, it's like this gun just eats ammunition in a good way. I will say, touching ammunition, 0 malfunctions. So, granted, I've only used 3 or 4 different types of ammo, all in the 115 or 124 grain, so nothing crazy or weird that might choke it up, but I've had 0 issues so far. It's worth mentioning, only because I mentioned in the CZ review, that this does come with Metgar mags, which I absolutely love. They are branded SIG Sauer, but they're made by Metgar. Having that nice beveling in there, goes in super smooth, comes out super smooth. I've had no issues with mags whatsoever. It is worth noting, though, that I've always had to use the slide release or re-rack when swapping mags. So with my X Macro as well as the CZ Shadow 2, occasionally I would have to not do that, right? I'd load a full mag and it just automatically does it. This has not done that once. So for me, I think that's noteworthy to bring up in this first video. Obviously, there's going to be way more in depth in my next video, but given that there is extremely limited content on this specific model of the 226, I wanted to do you guys justice and get you as much information that I could, as quick as I could. Keep in mind, I still got a full-time job. I got kids, a wife. Don't always get to the range as much as I'd love to, so sometimes you notice there's more gaps in my videos, but I'm trying to work ahead to keep it more streamlined for you guys. So I appreciate your guys' patience. I appreciate you guys' support. It means a lot. Been working hard at this for a year now, and hoping it truly pays off to the point where I can then reinvest in this and make this bigger than what it is now. Because honestly, if it wasn't for YouTube, I don't even know how I would have gotten into guns. Side note, I mean, I've only been in guns for 5-6 years now, and YouTube's a great teacher. I mean, I think for someone who's never been into guns, it can be pretty scary. It can be pretty intimidating. So having a platform like YouTube where you can go on there and research whatever you want and hear 20 different opinions, I think that's priceless. It's kind of what drove me to do this, because not only did I love the journey of learning guns, I loved the journey of teaching about them as well. I mean, one thing I take a lot of pride in is taking my friends to the range and teaching them. And I implore to you guys, if you guys have a friend or someone you know, if you consider yourself safe and proficient, and you know someone who's also new or wants to get into guns, take them out. Don't intimidate them. Show them, make them comfortable. That is the absolute best thing you can do as a person, is help another person become a protector, in my eyes. But to each their own. Sorry, I digress. We'll get back to the gun at hand. I'm getting a little sidetracked. Sorry, just came from the gym and guess that pre-workout is still kicking in. So back to the gun here. Grips are great. I do not think I will be changing these out. I mean, personally, I think they look amazing. I love the styling. Actually, love the two-tone. I was unsure how I would feel about this color when I first ordered it. Obviously, everything else I own is boring and all black. It's just been my style. I mean, I wear all black all the time. So this was a stretch for me to go out and get a different color gun, but I think it looks amazing. It's definitely worth noting. And yes, the gun is super clean. I did actually break this down and clean it prior to this video. I wanted to get a nice thumbnail for you guys. And shockingly, after 600 rounds, it wasn't as dirty as I thought. I mean, the X300, I mean, that was filthy, but like the front of it wasn't that bad. The internals weren't bad. I will say, breaking this down, super simple. If any of you guys have ever broken down a P226X, it's basically the same thing. You lock it, rotate the pin, it comes off. The only difference between the P226X is the actual spring is not captured to the guide rod. No big deal. I mean, it's easier to clean if you ask me. But I mean, disassembly, reassemble, super simple. I imagine anyone could take this apart, no problem. I will say though, we'll talk about this optic in the future. This is the Romeo X Pro Lock. This does have the circle dot, and this came with the gun. It was a package deal when I ordered it. I kind of like that as a circle dot because it's different than my other one, and I will talk a lot about that in a future video because I'm surprised how different this is versus my Romeo X Compact. I really thought they'd be almost the same thing because they look very similar, but we will get into that in a future video. The one thing that surprises me with this one is, other than that piece right there, and I haven't looked into this yet, I'm sure when I look into it, it won't be that bad. I have no idea how this thing gets installed or taken off. Not that I have any plans of taking it off, but it looks super clean because you don't have any sort of mounting hardware on it. Like my other one, when I did the witness marks, you see it up top, like super, super clean, fits it perfectly. So I like that it came with it because it definitely complements the gun. I would say a gun this size could use a slightly bigger window. That was my same gripe with the other one. But really, totally usable. I mean, I really can't say that it's a negative because I've shot 600 rounds, no problem with it. So I guess that's just size dimensions there would make me think that a bigger optic would work better. But for the option of carrying, it works perfect, and the optic itself works perfect. Let's see, what else am I missing, guys? The mag is an 18+1, which is amazing. I've had no issues with the mags. I actually have a few extras dedicated just for the range now. And yeah, I think that's about it. If there's something I may have missed, please let me know in the comments below. I promise you guys I will have a 1,000+ round review coming after this where it will be way more in detail. But again, just because there's not a lot of information on this right now out there, I wanted to get this to you guys. I know this is now becoming more readily available. I found mine on Gunbroker, but when I ordered mine, according to SIG's website, it was saying coming soon, but now you can actually click the buy now button. So I imagine a lot of you are gonna see this and wanna know about it and wanna make a solid purchase. From my perspective, I think the gun is amazing. I think the gun's absolutely worth the price compared to a 2011, which I think this shoots very comparatively to a 2011. I think it's the steal, honestly. I mean, this with the optic is still cheaper than most entry-level 2011s, so this to me is a no-brainer. I think this gun is phenomenal. But I will let you guys know more. I really appreciate you guys following the channel so far and seeing our growth. And if you guys have any suggestions or comments, please let me know. I get back to all of them as quick as I can. One more look for you guys because it is a beautiful gun. And just to say, I left a little teaser in my other video. I will let you guys know as well. I do have a giveaway coming soon, so if you stuck around for now, I'll give you a little bit more info. That giveaway is probably going to come in a couple weeks from this. It's going to be paired with a specific video I have in line that I'm trying to get enough time in to give a proper video for that topic. Sorry being so secretive, but I don't want to give anything away. But I promise the giveaway is coming soon, and I think you guys will be pretty excited because what I'm giving away is something I really enjoy so far, and I think it's going to be an awesome piece for anyone to get. So thank you guys for tuning in, and I'll see you next time.